Hey guys, Joe from J&M Concrete here. So this week we're doing one of my favorite things, and that is we're pouring a driveway. They're straightforward. There's plenty of access to the street. We can knock out a lot of square footage pretty fast. I mean, really, there ain't much to complain about. Stick around for the prep, the tear out, my favorite part, the pour. We'll see you then, guys. Don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe. Bye. So just like every profession, you learn little tricks of the trade over experience. You see me breaking this thin little line across the front of the garage. What that allows me to do is to break up the rest of the driveway, pick up these pieces without transferring any force or energy into the garage and potentially damaging the garage or the edge here or launching a piece into the garage door. After I do that, I break it up into manageable pieces that I know my Bobcat can lift up entirely. The goal really is to tear all the concrete out without having my people ever touch a piece of concrete. At most, I just want them shoveling up little tiny pieces. But if I can load up this whole thing without them having to load up any pieces by hand, that makes for a good, easy day. And then after these big pieces are up, which makes it more manageable to load too, I know exactly how much I'm loading into each trailer. I can pull away this strip that's in front of the garage carefully without damaging anything, and then everything goes quickly and I don't end up launching a piece into the house, which we did one time a while back ago. And then another part that I really like about the driveway is framing the edges here, because all you have to do is go from point A to point B. Usually, for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. You don't have to mess with levels too much, and you knock out the square footage pretty quickly. And then after that, the goal is to remove some of the dirt that's under here and then spread out what's left over. Basically, the goal is if someone were to cut a slice out of your concrete work out like a cake, you want it to look like a cake. You want even layers all the way through, an even layer of concrete, an even layer of road base, and then an even layer of dirt under that. You won't see that much near the edges because I don't over dig past the forms. So if you dig near the form under it, it might seem like there's only dirt, but in the majority of it here in the center, you can see we compacted with the rammer, we lay down a few inches of road base, and then we water that and compact it with the plate compactor to make sure that not only do we have the right composition, it's all an even thickness all the way through so that it reacts accordingly to the weather when it gets cold, when it gets warm. And then we lay our rebar on 2-foot centers. We make sure that our expansion is up against the city property, and then get everything up on our chairs and get ready to pour. All right, guys, there it is. Tear out went well. So from that corner to this corner, we have 16 inches in drop, so about 4%. It's not going anywhere. Everything's pretty straightforward. Those steps we're not going to drill into because they're kind of moving a little bit, you know, over the last couple of years. Not a big deal. Like normally I put my expansion here, not over there. People forget concrete expands it and contracts a 1/4 inch over 100 feet. So you only need this one right here. Don't know why people on short driveways like this do them on both. Well, that's their choice. And then look at this little unique thing, guys. The water main shut off, the curb shut off, is actually slightly outside of the concrete. That rarely happens. Usually when it's more in, at least a few inches past the inside, we'll put a little riser and then have the cap to the concrete. But here, if I put a riser, the concrete couldn't wrap around it, so we just put a little metal around it. I don't see the customers driving over the edge very much, so that's going to be out of the way. Very unique situation, but the solution's pretty straightforward. There it is, guys. Pour is set for tomorrow. The leaves are changing. Winter's around the corner, and we can't wait for our big winter break. See you then, guys. Bye-bye. Back in the day before we had buggies, we would kind of like pull in the trucks, which would be risky because you could crack the sidewalk stones. So now we just use the power buggy the majority of the way. and then we kind of wash it out a little bit here inside the dry area. That's why I don't spray the end, because I know I was going to use it to wash out my buggy. And then we shoot it the rest of the way, which makes it easy. That way we don't have to block the street or pull in the cement truck onto the city sidewalk here, and no one can say, hey, you broke the city sidewalk, you got to replace it. Just little details, tricks of the trade, and obviously it helps to have a machine that can move the concrete up the driveway instead of having to fight the truck, traffic, and stuff like that. But this driveway was pretty straightforward. It all came out really well, and the customer was happy. Hey guys, Joe from J&M Concrete here. Pour went well. I didn't stick around for the second half of the pour because we went to go pressure wash the thing we have to seal. But we poured early in the morning, 6-inch slump. The way the mixes have been looking these last couple of months, pouring it to the max allowable slump of the design has been working with us finishing wise. Check it out, poured 4,000 microfiber. Let me show you guys a little thing. So in this corner, we did not want water to stay inside the joint. So what I did is we cut the joint and then we floated over it. Finishers will know it should crack now in that joint that we had floated over. But water won't stay in that little valley, because if it stays in this little valley, well, it can't go this way, it can't go that way, and then you have water getting under these steps. So it should travel over. But the downside to that is we're gonna have a little crack right there. Should be hairline, but usually it's the least worst of everything that we could do here. But either way, what do you think, guys? Came out really sweet. See you guys next week. Next week we're doing a little hot tub pad. End of the season's coming up. Don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe. See you then, guys. Bye-bye.